itself is named as Microsoft Office. So that is created for day-to-day applications in the office, not required for, not designed for a scientific documentation. So, can anyone tell me a major difference between a business document and a scientific document?
Yes, students, please respond. Sir, we continue, sir.
Okay, so in business documents, you may not have too many formulas or mathematical expressions. Whereas in a scientific document, for example, a thesis or a project report or a research document, you are likely to have many formulas, expressions, and so on. And you'll have to manage a large number of references, such as the articles that you have referred, the literature review part, etc. So that is where LaTeX helps us a lot to typeset mathematics and to manage references, and managing a huge documents become much more easier. Am I audible? Can we move to the next class? At least students, can you put a hand raise at least if you are not ready to talk? Okay, so at least one student is responding. So, okay, thank you, Manoj. You have been there right from the beginning. So let's get started. So this is how the presentation is titled. We'll have a quick introduction on what is this typesetting system called TeX or LaTeX. Then how are we going to structure a document, be it a research paper or a project report or a thesis or a proposal? How are we going to structure it? How many parts are there? What is the purpose of each part, etc. Next, once you decide the parts, you need to divide the document based on the decisions that you made. That is, these many parts go to abstract, this is the introduction, this is the literature survey. Typeset the math, that is equations, in the this system. Then the other document structures such as lists, tables, figures, and most importantly the reference section, also known as the bibliography. So we will go through all the important parts of all these things and then conclude the session. That is how it is planned. So let's get started with the history. So this person, Donald Irving Knuth, is known as the father of algorithm analysis. He is a professor from Stanford University. In those days, when a computer science professor feels that I don't have a proper tool to write something, they were so intelligent that they can write their own tool. Now, at present, if we find that there are some tools, immediately we will Google for that particular tool and start using that. And this happened long before, when your internet was so prevalent. And Donald E. Knuth, while writing this book series, The Art of Computer Programming, and this book series is available in the library, untouched by many students. It's an excellent book on algorithm analysis from a number theoretic point of view. So I request all PG students to at least have a look at these books. I don't recommend to read. I don't know whether you are matured enough to read and understand this book. At least have a look at the book and see and convince yourself that I have seen some books authored by a person who is believed to be the father of analysis of algorithms. So D. Knuth was the person who came up with the first version of TeX, because he had a lot of mathematical expression, and the current typesetting system did not allow him to typeset math properly. So he came up with a tool. So that is how TeX came into existence. And it was born in 1980s, and I'm sure that none of you would have seen the light of the day in 1980s. So the original name of the tool was TeX, though it is written as TEX, it is pronounced as TeX. And it was somewhat cryptic, or the learning curve was much more steeper for a normal student to use it, because it was written by such an intelligent person. So this undergone a lot of revisions, and moreover, he made the system available to everyone for free. He didn't kept it for paper publication or patent. He made it free. So Knuth's original text was very low level primitives, and its learning curve was much steep. That means it takes a lot of time for someone to start using it. Okay, are you all with me? Can I get a hand raise? Okay, so when the learning curve is much steep, there won't be much takers for this. That is when the next person came. So this is an excerpt from the uh, took from the original textbook reference. That is, see, we are writing a document. So if you want something which is just enough, just good enough to read, you can use any typesetting program such as Microsoft Word or anything else that will produce a decent quality text. But if you want something which is really beautiful and which is really appealing for your eyes, and which it is very easy to deal with mathematical formulas, you must use TeX. So TeX is the finest quality documents are produced by TeX. So once you master TeX, you can be proud that I know the finest standard in typesetting. Beyond this, there is nothing, because once you say that it has been documented and typeset in TeX, it is a a good piece of work worth reading. So when you read a document, there are so many minor details such as spacing between letters, number of lines in a page, spacing between words, etc. All these things affects your reading or the way I treats the page. So such minor details are considered in the design of LaTeX. So if something is formatted in LaTeX, our eyes can easily detect it. And most of the textbook that we have learned as part of the BTech are authored in LaTeX. Do you remember a textbook by Corman and Lisserson, Design and Analysis of Introduction to Algorithms? How many of you remember that book that is considered to be the Bible of CSE? How many of you remember that book, Introduction to Algorithm by Corman, Lisserson, CRLS? Can I get a hand raise? Okay, some students have seen that. So that book is typeset in LaTeX. Like that, many standard textbooks are authored or typeset in LaTeX. So we are going to learn such a tool which is powerful enough to typeset a book containing 1,000+ pages. Okay. So all this history I'm telling you to understand why this tool is a important one as far as a CSE student or a researcher is concerned. And then you may ask, sir, there are many people who do not even know LaTeX and they produce research papers. Yes, that is true. There are many other tools now. Microsoft Word is also trying to compete with LaTeX, including lots of features. So the choice is yours. So if you want to remain as a glorified slave of Microsoft applications, you can continue to be in that. Or you would like to use a classic tool which is free then you can always switch to LaTeX. The choice is always yours. And if you ask me how I learned this, see, I am not a good researcher or I don't have too many publications. So the reason why I chosen is I never wanted to use any Microsoft products, especially this Word, which is Word and this what you call powerless, pointless presentation, PPT kind of stuff. I was looking for something which is open source and very LaTeX. So I have not authored many research articles, but I have authored many other things in LaTeX, including many invitations, posters, slides, question papers, articles, etc. So this is a tool which becomes more friendly based on the way you treat it. If you use it once in a year or once in a week, that tool may not be of much use. So you should make it a habit that you use this tool for any kind of typesetting. So by this time, I hope you would have read the words from D. Nuth. And after that, as I told you earlier, this learning curve was much more steeper. And another eminent computer scientist known as Leslie B. Lamport, you might have heard this name before, like Lamport algorithm, Lamport's clock for distributed systems, and so on. He is also another popular computer scientist. What he made is he he made an extension to the original tech, and this is what is known as LaTeX, written as LATEX. So you may be seeing L written, then A is inside this, then T wrote, and E is one step below T. And this is the style in which the term LaTeX is written. It's a kind of what you call a brand representation or something like that. So this was so it was by Leslie Lamport who made this LaTeX more popular, and this distribution started bundled with most of the Linux systems. So if you are a Linux user, you will not have any problem in using this LaTeX because it gets bundled with the system. So may I know how many of you have a Linux installation on your laptop? Can I get a hand raise? So nobody is having. So it is so shameful. I feel really ashamed that a PG student doesn't have a proper Linux installation to try out some real system level programs or something. I think you are still on the virtual machine. So I recommend, or I would rather challenge all of you to install Linux as a second OS on your laptop and start using Linux on it. So in my presentation, I won't talk anything related to Windows OS and how to install it on Windows or anything. Those things you can learn from your big boss, Microsoft. Okay. Now this is the history. And so how do we get you start using the LaTeX? So the LaTeX code or the text can be typed in any of the text editor. Since you are not familiar with Linux, these words will sound like Sanskrit to you. So anybody heard of Emacs or Kedit, Kate, etc.? Can I get a hand raise? Yeah. So these are very powerful editors available on the Linux platform. If you are on Word, you can use Notepad, or sorry, Windows, you can use Notepad, Notepad++, or anything of that sort and edit your code. So any tool which will help us to play around with the plain text can be used. This grep, sed, SPLS, etc. are very powerful text processing tools on Linux. So why should someone learn about LaTeX? So once you start writing your paper or your research article, LaTeX takes care of the typesetting and all the details such as page numbering, page care of all those things. So the advantage is that you can concentrate on your content. So those who are familiar with the Word and those who have authored a page, a document with 100 or 500 pages in Word will understand the difficulty. If by mistake, if you press the space button or the enter key at somewhere, the entire document gets distorted and you lose the page number, alignment, everything is gone. But in LaTeX, no such things. Everything is under your control. No such issues of breaking page limits, exceeding page numbers, etc. will not happen. So you have a proper control on the document that you are writing. And we can instantly change the format by writing some command. That is, if you write a document which is meant for one column, with an instant, with just one command, you can convert it into a two-column document, and the alignment, numbering, everything, etc. is taken care of by LaTeX. And mostly, this point is the most appreciated one, which is freedom. That is, see, when you do some work in the Word or Excel or something, you are submitting the entire document at the feet of Microsoft. That is, you are encrypting with their tool. So you don't know how it goes inside it. But when it comes to LaTeX, you know what you are doing and you can enjoy the freedom of all this open source project. Okay. So that's about LaTeX, and these were the motivation for me to study LaTeX. Okay, and I don't know how do you feel. And the new generation want to do things instantly. They are not ready to listen to the history and the science or story behind it. So I thought of telling you all these things. Now let us see the workflow or how the LaTeX documents are processed. So if you start reading the diagram from the left side, you will find a TEX file. So this TEX file is a LaTeX source file. So this is compiled by the tech compiler, and you get a DVI file, and with the help of an XDVI viewer, you can see it's the document on the screen. Or if you convert it into PS, PostScript format, the printer can print it. These are standard formats used by printers. But nowadays we don't know about all these things, but these formats are still existing. Okay. And from PS, you can convert it to PDF by using the tool PS to PDF. That's again a tool available in Linux. Now, if you have one tool known as PDF text, that will straight away produce the PDF file from the LaTeX. You can see from source, it goes to PDF file, and both can be printed and displayed on the screen. Okay, so this is how LaTeX documents are produced. Can I get a hand raise? Shall we go to the next slide? Okay, so let us see how the files are named. So, and the command, if you are, since nobody is using Linux, this slide is not meant for you. This is meant for a CSE student who is living on Linux. And I wish at some day you also shift to Linux, because Linux or Unix kind of OSs are meant for academics. And if you want to remain as a Microsoft user still now, it's high time that you shift to Linux. So these commands I'm skipping because it will not make any sense to you. Now let us look at uh, LaTeX, typical LaTeX document structure. So every LaTeX document starts with a document class. You can see backslash document class. That is a command with two arguments, A4 paper, 12 point, and then article. So whatever you see in square bracket is optional. That is, we can omit those arguments. Whatever you see in curly brackets are mandatory arguments. If you don't give that argument, LaTeX will create an error. So is the this is the first LaTeX file which we are going to do. Hello world. How many of you want to try one file right now, or are you interested in just watching the show and give some hand raise occasionally? How many of you want to try? Can I get a hand raise? How many of you want to give a try of LaTeX compilation right now? Please give a hand raise. The one student, the others don't want, then why are you attending this session? Let me see how many hand raises are there. Okay, so those who want to try it right now, I believe that you are on your laptop. So I'll show you an online compiler because you don't have Linux installed. So there is no way to try it right now. And Windows installation will take time and I am not going to teach you that. So the only way to try out some LaTeX command right now is by means of an online editor. So I'll show you how to do that in the online editor. So all of you open your browser and type overleaf.com. Overleaf.com and show me and give a hand raise after that. Please give me a hand raise once you open Overleaf. Overleaf.com. So it will ask you to sign up or register. You can use your Gmail ID and log into the tool. So you will get the main entry homepage of Overleaf like this. Are you seeing this? Can I get a hand raise if you are able to land up this page? Okay, so here this is the page where you are going to do your projects. So you can create a new project, click on new project and a window will open a blank project and there are so many examples are there, templates are there. You don't leave all these things, start a blank project. You give a name, test, then a blank project will be created. Okay, so LaTeX by default it will create a template. So we don't want to use this. Just delete all these things. We are going to do fresh. Okay. So now you go back to going back to the now here is the place where you have to type your code, the code for compiling your project. So I can show you that. I had actually done one. Yeah. So look at this code. Okay. Document class A4 paper. Are you able to see? I don't know whether it is visible or not properly. I try to zoom it. Okay. So you can see document class A4 paper, 12-point article, begin document. This is the beginning of the document. And next we are giving the text. So two backslash is a new line in LaTeX. So there are some basic commands in LaTeX that we should learn to prepare a document. So I am just giving, this is my first document prepared in LaTeX. So slash LaTeX is another command which will print LaTeX in the way the actual brand suggests, or the actual typesetting for LaTeX. So now after this you need to press Control Enter. It will get compiled. Okay. So after compilation, you can see the layout. You can see the PDF in a side by side, or PDF in a separate tab. When you click on that separate tab, you can see this is the output. The output screen for the okay, since it is coming show in PDF. Change. Right side you can see the document corresponding to it. So left side the source code, and right side the output that we got after compilation. Okay. So here if you type your research paper, right side you get the typesetted camera ready version for submission in that template. Okay, so this is how we work with LaTeX. Okay, and I have share. Okay, so coming back to the presentation. Now, hope you understood how to uh, you paste it into the compiler, hit on the compile button. If there are no errors, you get the output. Okay. So this is whatever I have shown below is the actual output of the code which I have printed above. Now some details about the LaTeX commands. So every LaTeX command starts with a backslash, and you produce the required kind of articles. You can specify the paper size and the font size. I'm sorry. Now this is how we prepare a research document, where we use a command title, which is used to set the title. Usually if you are doing it in Word, the title you need to select, convert the font into 14, make it as bold, align it centrally. All these steps are done automatically by the LaTeX, by the command slash title. And you can give the author name, date, then abstract. So how to write your abstract. So you might have noticed abstract comes in a different spacing and template. So everything is taken care of by the LaTeX itself. Now how to divide the document. So a document will be divided into chapters, sections, subsections, and sections within subsections, paragraph, and so on. So for all these things, LaTeX has got commands. So if you write with that, you can. So this is one example, paper one which you can try in the LaTeX. Now I cannot type all these things. We have limited time. I will share the document. You can paste this code into the LaTeX editor and it will compile, and you will get a research paper kind of stuff in no time. Okay, with lots of features in LaTeX. Okay. Next is how to change the font, different size of fonts. So we don't specify the font size by number. Instead, different predefined sizes are there. Tiny, script size, footnote, small, normal, large, and huge. Huge being the biggest one. So this also we can try in the system and uh, get it working. Okay. Now, now we are coming to the actual purpose of mathematics. So you may be asking, sir, this paragraph, typesetting, bold, subsection, everything can be done in my favorite word processor, MS Word. Then why should I learn LaTeX? And here is the answer. So those who have tried to set mathematical expressions in Word will know the difficulty. Here comes the power of LaTeX, and all the formula that you see in Wikipedia are typeset using LaTeX code, and most of the other website also. So you can have very nice looking equations by means of LaTeX. So you can see ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. So that is written and you get the result. That is dollar $a, dollar $b, etc. That is how it is going on. Okay. So this is how it is going on. And so just a minute, chairperson is calling. I'll be back soon. Yeah. I'm sorry for the interruption. I got a call from the chairperson, so you can take it as a break in the session. So we need a break also, isn't it? So are you all still there, or you also took a break? Are you there? Can I get a hand raise? Ah, yes. Okay, some students are still alive. Okay. Now, you see the way formulas are written. Okay, f of x is 2x plus a fraction. See, that is written as a formula. So like this, any complicated formula that you can imagine can be neatly represented in LaTeX. That is the main power of LaTeX. That is where LaTeX shows a difference. And most of the mathematics textbooks are authored using LaTeX too. And you can create lists, numbered list or bullet points, etc. by using this environment. Then a description, how to describe something, how to do that. So this shows how a description can be done. Then tables are another powerful means for communicating your research ideas. So you can have a tabular structure, and you can make interesting tables with lots of information. And one more thing is, in the document, if you want to give a summary, that is a list of tables and which page they are occurring, that can be easily done with the help of a command, list of tables. Okay, so figures, how to include figures. You can specify the scaling of the figure, and all these things can be done. You can label all those things. So you can see, I am going to include a figure. Figure name is aspin.jpg. That is the file that will be included in my document like this. Okay, figure numbering, the name of the caption of the file, everything can be done. Okay, so this, how many of you have seen this place? Can I get a hand raise? This is a famous historical place in Kerala. Okay, you have not seen. So this, when we include such a figure, it is quite likely that we will refer to this figure later in our document. For example, in the text we will write in figure 4. So such cases, that figure numbering, everything is taken care of by the uh, LaTeX system itself. You need not worry about figure number, what is its page number, etc. Everything will be taken care of. Next is the important thing, bibliography, the reference section. So when you make a thesis, you will have hundreds or 200 references. Manually dealing them is a very tough job. So that is where your BibTech is coming to help. So bibliography can be written in a special syntax that is somewhat advanced. So only after you familiarize yourself with LaTeX, I can talk about bibliography. So I have included very minimal information on BibTeX. So if you are really interested, we can have one more session on using BibTeX. So with BibTeX, we can easily manage the references. Okay. So that is how we use BibTeX, and you can make the document. And BibTeX is again another compiler for bibliography. It will create a .bst file. That BST file, not BST file, the bib file will be included in your original LaTeX, and that is how we process it. So this is a second level topic, so we are not discussing it right now. Uh, so I hope with this we got a brief idea about what LaTeX is and how to use that. So I started using this during my PG in NIT Calicut, where there were professors, all of them were using LaTeX, and we were also fascinated by the beauty of the documents that they made, their question papers, etc. And we learned it on our own. There was no session like this, and we got inspired by the documents, and then we started looking at it. So there are lots of online references available. The first one is a standard one, LaTeX tutorial. It's from Trivandrum. There's a group, and lots of other Overleaf is providing lots of support for online compilation. So many things can be done. So in short, if you if you are comfortable in LaTeX, you can make fine quality documents that people will love to read. It will be pleasing to your eyes, and it will be easier to read. So easier to read, when I say, you may think, sir, everything is English, and what do you mean by easy to read for eyes? That means the typesetting makes a lot of difference. The spacing between letters, spacing between lines, punctuations, word breaking, the size of the letter, the margins, so many fine details are there, which are addressed by LaTeX. So when you give importance to fine details, the document becomes much more smoother or much more comfortable for eyes. So I would suggest all of you to start using LaTeX. Start with very small documents and start writing your own CV in LaTeX, then slowly some articles, and then switch to your research paper. So if you, as step one, if you start writing your research paper, it's going to be, not so easy task. So get yourself familiarized with this tool, and you should be bold enough to stop using Word or powerless, pointless presentations to start or to familiarize with LaTeX. So this presentation that you are seeing now, it's done in LaTeX. So like this, many things can be done. So this is just a very quick, short introduction on LaTeX. So just wanted to introduce you. I don't know how far you could understand. There were lots of disturbances. Some drilling sound is there, shouting sound is there. Doesn't look like to be a faculty cabin atmosphere at all. So I'm sorry for that. Know what to do. This is our research environment. There is no other go. So you also try to, adapt with this environment, focus on your research, and come up with nice articles and publications. And best wishes for your research journey. And I'm happy to answer some of the questions, but also I know that you may not open your mouth and ask questions. Still, as a formality, the floor is open for question. You can ask your queries if you have anything now.
Sir, if it's possible, like, could you send the like LaTeX document that you used to make this PPT itself?
So you need a template for the slides.
Yeah, because like this is different, right? So like maybe like
Ah,
we'll get of like how the typesetting
oh,
works.
okay, okay. So how do I share? Can I send it right away through the chat box? Is it possible?
Will like maybe like you could send the document to Senthil Kumar sir and he'll send it to us.
Ah, okay. Okay. Can okay. Let me see whether can you see something in the chat box now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's visible. So I'll share the files right away. Why should we wait? Hmm. So for slides, you need to study about the Beamer class. It's so the Beamer class is meant for the slides. I will send something out. Slides.ex. Desktop slide. So this is I'm sending one template for. Is it going or not? Attachments are not going. Yeah, it's gone. So this is a source file for a slide set. You can compile it and see how the slide set will look, and example files are available from the internet. If you want, I can share that also. So I have sent some slides for it. So if you want any other template, you let me know. There are templates available for 2-column documents, single column documents, and so on. So when you are submitting a paper to a conference or a journal, they will have their own template. They will give that LaTeX file. All that you need to do is edit the template with your content. Then you can easily upload that. So all those require some familiarity. On one fine morning, you cannot become LaTeX expert. It will give you a lot of errors, and it will be it's really a fussy system. It will give so many errors at the beginning. So it requires practice and regular use to become. So any tool is like that. So that's all. Hope you could get at least some points regarding LaTeX. Rest of the things are on your hands. The more you practice, the more you use, you will become experts in LaTeX and typesetting. So one thing I can assure that once you are familiar with LaTeX, you will never come back to your Microsoft products. You will understand the power of that. Okay. And I thank Dr. T. Sandil Kumar sir for this session. In fact, I do not know many of you by face. Still, I was talking to you. And this, if you still need any support in documentation in LaTeX or anything, you you can contact me. I am available in first floor, AP number 5. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.